Well, good afternoon, my friends. It's good to see you again. Thank you for joining me on Tuesday, Thinking Tuesday. You know, if it's noon on Tuesday, it is time for Thinking Tuesday, where we elevate our minds by reflecting on what we're thinking, how we're thinking, how is it serving us, and be bold enough to replace it with new thoughts that serve us better. Removing those self limiting and self defeating thoughts that hold us back and keep us in places that do not serve our personal growth. And I know you're all about personal growth because I am. Our slogan, as you know, is Your mind is a garden, your thoughts are the seeds. You can grow flowers or you can grow weeds. So let's spend a few moments today on Thinking Tuesday, as we always do, getting rid of the weeds, which are those negative, self defeating thoughts, and making room for the beautiful flowers, those positive, self affirming, growth producing thoughts that make us more self aware and more confident as we move forward in the direction towards the life we aspire to live. That's what Thinking Tuesday is all about. To aspire to think in ways that move us in the direction towards the life we aspire to live. So no one can tell me that you have not been affected in some way by all the many changes that are taking place around us, especially during the past 2 years. We have faced storms of many kinds, natural disasters in the form of hurricanes, floods, fires. Some have faced loss of jobs, loss of homes, loss of loved ones, and many other related issues associated with the COVID-19 pandemic or just life in general. It's been very, very difficult. I have been seeing the impact of these issues in my practice. People are looking for help, and it's good that they feel that there is help, because when there is help, there is hope. So today I want to encourage you to be hopeful despite the circumstances. And this by no means is suggesting that these issues are not real, because they are real. They should not be ignored. They should not be minimized, and definitely they should not be denied. They are in fact real and have definitely made their impact. So allow yourself to acknowledge what is going on around you. But while doing that, you can still be hopeful. My message today to you is that you can still be hopeful, that you still have more control than you can imagine. And I know from where some of you sit, this might sound impossible, but it is possible. Because your power and ability to weather these storms is rooted in your perception and your way of thinking through these circumstances. And what do I mean by this? Your actions will be dictated by how you think, by the message you're sending to yourself, by the way you think, by your self-talk. Sometimes without even being aware of these messages that we are sending. So in every adversity, there is advantage. And I'm saying again that for some of you, this might sound difficult or impossible, but with every adversity, there is advantage if you have the right perspective. At the moment, these adverse conditions can sap your energy and make it difficult for you to think things through. But at some point, do allow yourself to consider the fact that good things come out of bad situations if you have the right perspective. So today's talk is all about perspective. In the end, how you view things is how you do things. So check your view before you do. How you view things is how you do things. So check your view before you do. I'm positive that you've been in situations or have witnessed situations where two persons have faced the same adversity, and one will see the advantage in the adversity, while the other sees only the problem or sees themselves as the victim. So one sees the advantage in the adversity, the other just sees the problem and themselves as a victim. But a crisis or adversity pushes us to do things that we wouldn't do otherwise. Many times we have to be pushed to the wall before we make changes. And this can be small things, such as starting a project early enough to meet a deadline. We wait till the last minute before we start, and then we're rushed, we feel pushed to the wall. Or something maybe as large as cutting down a tree in our yard before it falls on our home during one of these storms. So many times we have to be pushed to the wall before we do some of these things, and that's what adversity does to us. So there is advantage in adversity. I'm going to use a famous quote to further explain. It is said that we cannot wait for an opportunity to present itself before we get ready. Because if we wait, it's too late, and we will miss the opportunity. We have to be prepared so that we are ready to take advantage of the opportunity when it presents itself. So get ready so you can be prepared for the opportunity before it presents itself. I'm suggesting that you develop the same attitude in developing a positive mindset or lifestyle. Why? Because it helps you to get prepared for adversity before it presents itself. So you begin to get your mind ready so that when the adverse situation presents itself, your mind is ready, you're steady on your feet. Not that you're not going to have some mishaps, but you are prepared. So developing a mindset and lifestyle of positivity is like the athlete, for instance, who is building that physical muscle, the stamina and the endurance to compete to the best of his or her ability when the time comes. They don't wait until the competition starts to begin to get ready. They prepare before, and then they function at their highest level. So developing a positive mindset or lifestyle is the same. It is a consistent attitude that influences your behavior. It allows you to develop the mental fortitude to withstand those adverse situations when they appear, because they will appear. It's better to be prepared, to be ready, and have a head start or some defense when it appears than to be caught without a defense. So I'd like to leave you with the following thoughts in developing a positive mindset to confront adversities or just life in general. Number one is life is filled with good and bad. Number two, some of the good and some of the bad I cannot control because they're problems and they're facts. You know, we can control some of the problems, but facts of life we can't control. So know what you can control. Number three, some of the good and some of the bad will find me. If you live long enough, they will find you. What you do with them The perspective that you have of them is what matters. Number 4 is, if I have a positive mindset, the good and the bad will become better. The good things will improve and the bad things will get better. If you have a positive mindset, you're always looking for and are open to possibilities, solutions. But on the other hand, if I have a negative mindset, which is thinking negatively, which unfortunately there's so much of that these days, if I have a negative mindset, the good and the bad will become worse. Because if you have good, you'll minimize it or you'll deny it or you'll ignore it. And if you have bad, you'll make it worse just by your thinking, because like I said, your thinking drives your behavior. Therefore, in the end, you should choose. I choose to have a positive mindset, because that's going to determine your outlook, your perspective, and that's going to determine how you address issues, how you see the issues, and the possibilities, the advantages in those situations, those adverse situations. Although it is very easy and it is very seductive, don't let your surroundings control your spirit. Your spirit is boundless. Energy is boundless. You can't restrict your spirit. Don't let your surroundings control your spirit. Don't let your surroundings, your circumstances also define who you are. Because what we say to ourselves also, those silent self-conversations that we have, that you might not be aware of sometimes, they really drive your decisions and your actions. And we want these to be positive. Instead, think of how your circumstances can challenge you rather than giving in to your circumstances. Think of how they can challenge you to do and to be and to have better, rather than seeing yourself only as a victim of your circumstances, because you're not. Only if you allow yourself to be. Because then you miss the opportunities to grow and to experience yourself in ways that you could never imagine. Your possibilities, your potential is boundless. Your potential is boundless if you allow yourself to think positively. You are the designer of your life, and that design begins with your perspective. How you view things, again, it's worth repeating, how you view things dictates how you do things. So make sure that that view is positive. If you need people to shore you up, to help you, to lift you up, there are lots of people out there that are willing to do that, myself included. So develop a positive life stance, a positive mindset. Adversities will come, but your perspective will determine the actions you take. So I hope that this has added value to you. Take some time today to reflect on your perspective. Share this with someone who is having a hard time, who you feel needs a hand up, a leg up. How are you viewing your life's circumstances? If you see someone else struggling, how can you help them to begin to look at some positive ways of handling their distress? Because as you give, you get also. It widens it expands the possibilities for you. It expands the way you experience yourself. So think about your perspective as you're thinking about your circumstances. And again, I invite you to share this. Visit my website, which has a lot of services and programs to help you hone this type of mindset and keep you on the path to having, doing, and being the type of person that you want to be. So I thank you again. I thank you again for joining me, and I look forward to seeing you next Tuesday at noon for Thinking Tuesday. Bye for now.